deep into one of the most iconic and talked about coins in American history, the 1958 D. Lincoln penny. It's small. It's copper. And yes, it might be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. So grab your coin jars and magnifying glasses. You're going to want to check if you have this penny hiding in your collection. The 1958 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. That little D mark right below the year tells us that it's part of the Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. That makes the 1958 D one of the final wheat pennies ever made before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. So already this coin has historical significance. It's the end of an era. Over 800 million 1958 D pennies were produced. So you might be wondering, with that many in circulation, how can one possibly be valuable today? Great question. Here's the thing. While most of these pennies are still only worth face value in worn condition, the value jumps dramatically when you start looking at coins in better shape, especially those graded by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Now let's talk condition. If your 1958 D. Lincoln penny is in average circulated condition, meaning it's been through pockets and drawers for decades, it's worth about 1 cent to maybe 5 cents. But if you have one in uncirculated or mint state condition, things get interesting. A red uncirculated coin with a grade of MS65 can sell for around $5 to $10 on the collector market. That's a 1,000% increase from its face value, but wait. It gets better. Some examples in even higher grades, like MS67 or MS68, which means nearly flawless under magnification, have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auctions. Yes, a single 1958 D penny has been sold for over $1,300, depending on its color, luster, strike, and overall preservation. That's right. 1 penny. Over $1,300. What makes a coin like this that valuable? 3 key factors: rarity and high grade, eye appeal, and collector demand. Most coins get scratched, nicked, and worn down the moment they enter circulation. Finding a 1958 D. Lincoln penny in pristine condition is much harder than you'd think. And when collectors compete for the best examples, the price goes up. So what should you look for? First, the color. Copper coins like these come in 3 categories: brown, and red. Red coins are the most valuable because they retain their original mint luster. If your coin shines like a brand new penny and has that reddish copper glow, that's a great sign. Second, the grade. You might need to get it graded professionally, but you can do a quick check. No major scratches. All the details on Lincoln's face and the wheat stalk should be sharp and crisp. That puts it closer to the mint state category. Third, any unusual features. While the 1958 D is not known for major errors like doubled dies or off-center strikes, there's always a chance. Some error coins from other years have sold for thousands. So it's worth keeping an eye out for any oddities. You might be thinking, do I need to be an expert to find one of these? Not at all. In fact, some of the most valuable coins were found in pocket change or passed down through families. The key is to know what to look for and handle your coins carefully. Use gloves if possible and avoid touching the coin's surface directly. Here's the bottom line. The 1958 D. Lincoln penny is common in general, but uncommon in perfection. If you happen to find one in mint state red condition, especially MS67 or higher, you could be holding a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars in today's collector market. So go ahead. Check your old coin rolls. Ask your grandparents if they have any tucked away. You never know when that 1 copper coin could turn into serious cash. If you learned something new today or you're inspired to dig through your coin collection, give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more rare coin news, historical facts, and money-making tips from the world of numismatics. Thanks for watching. And until next time, happy collecting. What if I told you that a single quarter from 1971, yes, just 25 cents, could be hiding in your pocket right now and be worth nearly $1 million? Sounds insane, right? But hold on. There's one very specific version of the 1971 D Washington quarter that has stunned collectors and even auction houses. It's rare. It's valuable. And if you know what to look for, you might just strike gold. Or in this case, silver. Let's break it all down. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we uncover hidden treasure in everyday pocket change. Today we're diving into one of the most shocking coin stories, the 1971 D Washington quarter that sold for an unbelievable $956,000. That's right. From spare change to life-changing. So how did this coin become worth so much? And how can you spot one? Let's get into the story. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932. Most coins minted in 1971, especially at the Denver Mint, that's the D Mint mark, were standard copper nickel clad. Nothing rare about them, but here's where it gets interesting. In 1971, the US Mint had just stopped producing 90% silver quarters. However, a few leftover silver planchets, that's the blank discs used to make coins, somehow got mixed into the machines in Denver. And one of those rare silver planchets ended up being struck with a 1971 D quarter design. This kind of mistake is called a transitional error. And it's extremely rare. So why is this coin so valuable? First, the error is nearly impossible. A silver planchet wasn't supposed to be in the mix at all in 1971 at the Denver Mint. That makes it one of only one or two known examples. Second, this particular coin was in almost perfect condition. We're talking high-grade mint state, graded MS65 or better. That dramatically increases the value. And third, the demand. Coin collectors love rarity. But when rarity meets history, and it's all wrapped up in a coin people see every day? That's when the price skyrockets. This exact coin sold at auction for $956,000. Almost $1 million for a quarter. Now here's what you should look for. First, flip the coin and check for the D Mint mark on the back, near the bottom right of the eagle. Then, and this is important, weigh the coin. A regular clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A 90% silver quarter weighs around 6.25 grams. So if you find a 1971 D quarter that's heavier than usual, don't spend it. Get it checked immediately. Also, listen closely when you drop it. Silver coins have a higher pitched ring, while clad coins sound dull. It's not exact science, but collectors swear by the sound test. And finally, if it looks different, shinier, older, or like it came from another time, that might be a clue too. Now, before you go digging through your change jar, keep this in mind. 99.9% of 1971 D quarters are just regular coins worth 25 cents. But that rare one? It's out there. Someone had it in their pocket. Someone spent it. Someone eventually found it. Could it be you? If you think you found a rare one, don't try to clean it. That can lower the value instantly. Put it in a soft cloth, handle it carefully by the edges, and get it professionally graded. So here's what I want you to do: check your change. Look through old coin jars, drawers, and inherited collections. If you've got any 1971 D quarters, give them a second look. You never know what kind of treasure you're holding, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin finds, and let me know in the comments, what's the rarest coin you've ever found? Who knows, the next millionaire coin might be sitting right in your palm. This script is designed for a narrated video and is written as flowing text so you can easily read it aloud or paste it into a text-to-speech tool. Welcome back to the channel, Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating topics in the world of coin collecting. A single penny from the year 2020 that is missing a key feature can be worth a surprising amount of money. And yes, we are talking about the famous Lincoln penny. Now you may be wondering, how can a coin that is only a few years old and originally worth just 1 cent possibly be valuable? Well, let me explain exactly why this coin has caught the attention of collectors across the country and how you might be able to find one in your own change jar. First, a little background on the 2020 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation for over 100 years, first minted in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then it has gone through a few design changes, but it has always featured the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front. In 2020, the standard Lincoln penny featured his portrait on the obverse or front of the coin and the Union shield on the reverse or back. But what makes some 2020 pennies extremely valuable is when something is missing or misprinted during the minting process. There have been verified reports of 2020 Lincoln pennies that are missing the mint mark or have striking errors. For example, some collectors have discovered 2020 pennies that do not have the D for Denver or the P for Philadelphia beneath the date. This may not seem like a big deal, but in the world of numismatics or coin collecting, an error like this can significantly increase a coin's value. In some rare cases, pennies have even been discovered without Lincoln's image at all, which is a major striking error and highly prized. These types of errors happen when the die used to strike the coin is improperly prepared or damaged. As a result, the coin comes out Missing details that are normally present on every single penny. Collectors value these errors because they are rare and the rarity drives up the price. A normal 2020 penny is worth 1 cent, but a no Lincoln penny or one with a significant error can sell for anywhere between $50 to over $1,500 depending on the condition, rarity, and demand. Let me give you an example. In late 2023, a 2020 penny missing the Lincoln portrait and with a blank obverse was sold at auction for over $1,500. This coin was authenticated by a professional grading service and certified as a genuine mint error that is 1 cent turning into $1,500, which is a dream come true for any collector. Now you might be asking, how do I find one of these valuable 2020 pennies? The answer is simple, but it requires patience. Check your spare change and look through coin rolls from the bank. Pay close attention to any 2020 pennies and look at the date, the mint mark, and the design on both sides. If anything seems off, like the design is missing, faded, or strangely printed, it might be worth further inspection. If you find a coin that looks unusual, your next step is to get it appraised by a reputable coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can authenticate the error and assign it a grade which will determine its market value. Keep in mind that condition plays a big role. A coin in mint or uncirculated condition is going to be worth far more than one that is scratched or worn. So if you find a strange looking penny, handle it carefully, avoid cleaning it, and store it in a soft holder or protective sleeve until you can get it evaluated. Also, a good tip is to stay up to date with current coin news and auction results. Sometimes coins that were not considered valuable a year ago suddenly become hot due to collector interest or discoveries of new error types. The 2020 no Lincoln penny is a perfect example of how modern coins can still make waves in the numismatic community. So to wrap this up, here is what you need to know. A 2020 Lincoln penny with major errors like a missing design, missing mint mark, or striking mistake can be worth a lot of money in today's market, even up to $1,500 or more depending on its rarity and condition. Always check your pocket change and keep an eye out for anything that looks out of the ordinary. If you have a 2020 penny that looks strange, you might just be holding onto a hidden treasure there. Key is knowledge, attention to detail, and a little bit of luck. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more coin tips, coin news, and coin values updated every week. See you next time and happy collecting. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're diving into a fascinating coin that's been catching the attention of collectors and enthusiasts all across the country. We're talking about the 2019 Lincoln penny, a seemingly ordinary coin that may actually be worth far more than its face value. You might even have one of these sitting in your pocket right now. So stay tuned, because this little 1 cent piece might just surprise you. Let's start with a little background. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, introduced to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, it's become the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. The reverse side was updated in 1959 to feature the Lincoln Memorial, and then again in 2010 to feature the current shield design. But in 2019, something special happened. To celebrate the 110th anniversary of the Lincoln cent and the 210th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint issued a special run of 2019 pennies. One of the standout coins from that year is the 2019 Lincoln penny. The D mint mark means it was struck at the Denver Mint, and while millions were made, not all of them are equal. So what makes the 2019 Lincoln penny so special and potentially valuable? It all comes down to condition, rarity, and demand. Most of these coins were released into circulation, so they picked up scratches, marks, and general wear. But if you find one in pristine condition, especially one that's uncirculated or graded MS67 or higher, then you might be looking at a coin worth much more than just 1 cent. Let's talk about grades for a moment. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS60 and above is considered uncirculated. When you get into the upper 60s, like MS67, MS68, or even MS69, that's when things start getting exciting. These are coins with almost perfect surfaces, great luster, and minimal flaws. Now here's where it gets interesting. As of the current market value in 2025, some 2019 Lincoln pennies graded at MS67 are selling for $30 to $50 depending on the buyer and demand. If you go higher, say MS68, the value can jump to $150 or even $200 in some cases. And if you happen to find one at MS69, which is extremely rare, that could fetch as much as $600 or more at auction, you might be wondering, why are people paying so much for a coin that's still relatively new? Well, modern coins in high grades are much harder to come by than you think. Most people don't realize the value until collectors start competing for the best examples. And remember, the supply of high-grade coins is very limited. Even though millions of 2019 D pennies were made, only a tiny fraction of them will ever grade at MS68 or better. And here's another reason the 2019 D Lincoln penny is in demand: there are also known varieties and errors from this year. Some coins have doubling on the obverse, which means you might see a slight doubling of the date or the lettering. Others have die cracks or chips that make them unique. These kinds of errors can significantly increase the value of your coin. Some error coins from 2019 have sold for hundreds of dollars, even into the four-figure range, depending on the rarity and condition. So how do you know if you have a valuable 2019 D penny? First, check the mint mark. Look right under the date. If you see a small D, that means it was struck in Denver. Next, examine the coin closely. If it looks shiny, free of scratches, and has great detail, it might be worth sending to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's the best way to officially determine its grade and authenticity. Keep in mind, getting a coin graded costs money, usually around $30 or more, so you'll want to be fairly certain the coin is in excellent condition before you go that route. If you're not ready to grade it professionally, you can still look up completed sales online. Check recent eBay listings, PCGS price guides, or heritage auctions. See what similar coins have sold for and compare yours. And here's a tip: always handle your coins by the edges. Avoid touching the surfaces with your fingers, as oils and dirt can damage the finish and lower the value. Store your coin in a protective holder, especially if you think it's a high-grade example. So, to wrap it up, is the 2019 D Lincoln penny worth a lot of money? The answer is, it definitely can be. While most are still only worth a penny, some high-grade examples and rare errors are worth anywhere from $20 to $600 or more. It all comes down to condition, scarcity, and collector interest. If you enjoy coin collecting or just want to see if you have a hidden gem, now's a great time to check your change, look through your old coin jars, and maybe even visit a local coin show or dealer. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin collecting tips, market updates, and rare finds. Let us know in the comments if you've come across a 2019 D Lincoln penny, or if there's another coin you want us to cover next. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that you might have in your pocket change right now. We're talking about the 1981 Lincoln penny. That's right. 1 cent. But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking penny could be worth way more than face value? Some are even fetching up to $1,800 depending on their condition, mint mark, and type. Before you toss that penny into a jar or a vending machine, listen up. You might be holding a small fortune. So what makes the 1981 Lincoln penny so special? First, let's talk about the basics. The 1981 Lincoln penny features the familiar bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin. This design by Victor David Brenner has been in circulation since 1909. But what happened in 1981 that makes this coin stand out? Here's the key. 1981 was the final full year the U.S. Mint produced pennies made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. After that, in mid-1982, the Mint switched over to copper-plated zinc coins because of rising copper prices. That means 1981 was one of the last years to get that solid copper content, which collectors love. But it's not just about the metal. It's also about the strike quality, mint mark, and especially the proof versus business strike. Let's break it all down. At first, the mint mark. In 1981, pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S. The most common are the Philadelphia and Denver versions, but the San Francisco S pennies? Those are proofs, and that's where some of the big money is. And now listen carefully. Not all 1981 S proof pennies are valuable. The U.S. Mint produced 2 types of proof dies for that year, Type 1 and Type 2. Type 1 has a filled or blurry-looking S. Type 2 has a clear, sharply defined S. Type 2 is the key to higher value. A 1981 S Type 2 proof penny in perfect condition, graded PR70 DCAM by PCGS or NGC, has sold for as much as $1,800 at auction. That's right. 1.8 grand for a penny. Insane, right? But what if you don't have a proof coin? What about the regular ones you find in circulation? Great question. Even circulated 1981 Lincoln cents can be worth more than face value if they are in pristine condition. We're talking about MS-66 or MS-67 red examples. These coins have never been touched by human hands and show no signs of wear. If you find one in this high-grade condition, it could be worth anywhere from $5 to $50, sometimes more if it's a rare variety, and yes, varieties and errors are a huge part of the story. You want to keep an eye out for doubling, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and die cracks. A well-documented 1981 Lincoln penny with a strong doubling on the date or Liberty inscription could go for hundreds. Even more exciting, some collectors and experts believe there are still undiscovered transitional errors out there. These are coins struck with the wrong metal composition as the mint prepared to switch materials in 1982. If you ever find a 1981 penny that feels light or doesn't ring the same way as a copper coin, it's worth weighing and checking it out. You might be looking at a transitional error worth thousands. So how do you check if your 1981 penny is valuable? Step 1. Check the mint mark. Is it a D, no mark, or an S? Step 2. If it's an S, look at the clarity of the mint mark. Is it sharp and clear? That could be a type 2. Step 3. Weigh the coin. A copper 1981 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If it's lighter, around 2.5 grams, you might have a zinc transitional error. Get that checked immediately. Step 4. Look at the coin's condition. Bright red color, sharp detail, no scratches? That's a good sign. These high-grade coins command premium prices. And finally, step 5. Consider getting it graded. Services like PCGS and NGC can authenticate your coin and assign it a grade that tells collectors exactly what it's worth. Let's quickly review some recent sales. A 1981 S-Type 2 proof penny graded PR70 DCAM sold for $1,800 at auction. A 1981 D in MS-67 red condition sold for over $100. Even a regular Philadelphia issue in pristine MS-66 red condition has sold for around $30 to $40. So the next time you're going through your change or old coin collection, don't overlook those 1981 pennies. Whether it's a copper composition, rare mint variety, or proof strike, this seemingly ordinary coin could be hiding extraordinary value. And remember, coins like these aren't just collectibles. They're pieces of history. From the last days of solid copper to the legacy of President Lincoln on our money, the 1981 penny tells a story, and maybe even adds some money to your pocket. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin values and rare finds, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below if you've got a rare 1981 penny or any questions about coin collecting. This is one of those videos you'll want to bookmark, because you never know when you'll find a penny worth nearly $2 grand.